It's that time of the week again, folks. The place where we promise restraint and immediately abandon it the next second. Eshop Sunday is upon us. It's usually this time of year when you realise how bad the backlog is. You see the long list of games releasing in coming weeks, then look over at your physical or digital backlog and just weep. I've still got a stack of sealed games in the corner I've not got around to touching yet, but here we are, looking for more to add. Oh well, maybe I get fired this week and go on a JRPG bender. But anyway, hide your wallet, tell yourself you don't need any more games, and then buy a few more. Let's get into it. We're starting off strong with something that absolutely ruins sleep schedules worldwide, and that's Balatro. But if you want it, go and grab it quick because it's only on sale for another 20 hours or so from when this video drops. On paper, it's poker, but in reality, it's a roguelike combo laboratory that will hijack your brain. Honestly, it's mental. You're building hands as you would in traditional card games, yes, but more importantly, you're stacking jokers, bending rules, multiplying multipliers, and occasionally discovering a synergy so broken you feel like you've outsmarted life, and it's absolutely bonkers. There are times when you get properly done over by RPG, and I won't lie, it's frustrating as all hell, but then you jump right back on that horse. It's a game that's really difficult to convey to people without them actually playing it. So if you're even remotely interested, pick it up, you won't regret it. It's also had a Switch 2 update recently, so it's the perfect time to grab it. A quick note on that though, for some reason you can't carry over save data from Switch 1 to Switch 2, so if you already own it and weren't aware of the update, just keep that in mind. The devs are aware of it, but they haven't said anything yet. Also, for some weird reason, on the eShop it only appears if you click on the Switch 2 download rather than the Switch 1. It's a bit odd, I know, but hey. Balatro is currently £10.23 or your regional price, and it's 20% off. It's not the biggest discount, but it's so good. And as I said, it's only on sale for another 20 hours or so. And this one, most people have probably played, but just in case you haven't, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate is a fast, satisfying roguelike brawler that wastes no time. You pick your turtle, dive into procedurally generated runs, grab upgrades, and expect to fail fast and often. The combat is responsive and the builds evolve quickly with each run, and each turtle has a unique and engaging play style. It's a nice dose of nostalgia and a pretty solid game overall. It's got solo and co-op, and they are constantly adding DLC in the form of new playable characters and levels. They also released a Switch 2 update. It will cost you another $2 or so, but it did stabilise the frame rate massively, so it's definitely worth grabbing if you enjoy the game. Splintered Fate is currently £6.24, or the price shown on screen, and is 75% off until March the 24th in the UK and Europe, and the 18th in North America. This next one is a bit of an underrated game and franchise in general, and that's Saints Row the Third. This is open world mayhem with absolutely no interest in subtlety. Ridiculous missions, ridiculous weapons, ridiculous tone, and somehow that commitment to nonsense is exactly why it works. People often read too much into it and talk about physics and how it's overly absurd, but you just need to shut your brain off and go with it. It's pretty daft, but it's fun. These games are a bit clunky at first, but they do grow on you. If your only goal is to have a bit of fun, these are great. They're not flawless ports, but at the end of the day, they're stable enough to enjoy the madness, and the amount of content here for the asking price is borderline silly. There's a 20-odd hour campaign, and you can easily double that with the ridiculous antics on display. If you want a sandbox to mess around without taking anything remotely seriously, pick it up. It's not overly polished or a narrative masterpiece, but you have a good time. Especially for £2.39 or your country's equivalent, an 85% discount until March the 8th in the UK and Europe, and the 9th in North America. And this one's a little more survival focused, but it's an absolute gem, and that's Windbound. Windbound is a survival adventure indie RPG where you're shipwrecked across a chain of mysterious islands and have to figure things out on yourself. You hunt, gather, craft better gear, and crucially, build and upgrade your boat so you can push further into the unknown. The sailing adds a nice dynamic to the game, watching wind direction, planning routes, and hoping you don't misjudge a landing and lose all your progress. And that whole experience really is quite cathartic at times. Now, There were some pretty negative reviews about this on launch, but it's had a few patches since, and while it's not perfect, it's a really fun game and it's pretty stable, and it really is an underrated game. It's got quite a quiet and strange melancholic atmosphere. It's sort of got this weird juxtaposed, beautiful yet dangerous feel, and I really enjoyed it. The survival aspects are relatively stripped back. You aren't dying of thirst or hunger. It's definitely more aimed at the steady improvement and cautious discovery routes. But for this price especially, it's a very low risk way to dip into survival mechanics without any huge commitments. Windbound is currently £1.59 or your currency's equivalent and is 90% off. This is an absolute no-brainer. What can you get for that price? It's on sale until the 8th of March in the UK and Europe and the 9th in North America, and you are easily getting about 20 hours out of this. And next up is something calmer and more creatively driven. Astroneer is a purely exploratory sandbox. Unfortunately, it often gets dubbed as a No Man's Sky light, but that's quite unfair. It's its own game with unique visuals filled with vibrant alien planets where you slowly build up your own little off-world operation. I realise what I've just said does sound like No Man's Sky light, but you really need to try it. It's quite unique in its own way, and it's definitely different. You'll build oxygen lines, power grids, resource extraction, vehicle crafting. There's so much tinkering and expanding at your own pace. There's no real combat in the game, it's primarily just about that methodical progression, a sandbox in the purest of ways. A nice little touch the game has is that the co-op is brilliant, but as a solo adventure, it's a relaxing and satisfying 25-hour campaign. But being a sandbox, you can have near limitless fun with it. There's a lovely little rhythm to slowly transforming a hostile planet into something workable, and this really is an underrated gem. Astroneer is currently £6.99 on the price shown on the graphic, a 71% reduction until March the 10th in the UK and Europe, and the 11th in North America. And if you want something a little more emotional, I've got you covered with Neva. And honestly, what more needs to be said about this game? From the team behind Greece, this is an atmospheric, art-driven adventure built around companionship and quiet storytelling. And if you're yet to play this, what have you been doing with yourself? It's a platforming action-adventure where you travel alongside a wolf companion, and that relationship evolves as the world around you shifts. It's an absolutely stunning game, and the devs nailed the pacing of the narrative. But yeah, the visuals are gorgeous, with those seasonal changes and sweeping backdrops throughout the entire game. It's a short but sweet 4-hour journey, but it's memorable and definitely replayable. Neva is currently £8.99 or your regional equivalent, a 50% discount until March the 4th in the UK and Europe, and the 5th in North America. And sticking in that picturesque cinematic lane, Planet of Lana offers puzzle platforming wrapped in a gorgeous hand-painted landscape. There's a gentle sci-fi undertone to everything in this expansive world. You play as Lana, obviously, a young girl navigating a vibrant alien world suddenly invaded by cold robotic machines. And when you're not getting sucked into the emotional bond between Lana and her cute little cat, you're solving environmental puzzles and avoiding threats. The pacing is calm and considered, and it really is a peaceful 4-hour playthrough. It's primarily built around stealth, companion-based gameplay, and it really does portray a charming narrative. It's not heavily reliant on dialogue, but luckily, it's visually striking and mechanically approachable. Planet of Lana is currently £5.09 or your regional price, a 70% discount until March the 14th in the UK and Europe and the 15th in North America. Now then, Animal Well is technically a Metroidvania, but it plays more like a layered puzzle adventure. The game's world is dense with secrets, hidden pathways, and mechanics that interlock in surprising ways, but you still have to survive the tense platforming. The game rarely tells you what to do outright, and the sense of discovery is the main driving force behind the bulk of the gameplay. You'll be constantly finding new items that aren't just tools, they're keys to new ways of thinking about the environment. There's a quiet eeriness to the atmosphere, and overall, it's a satisfying adventure. There are real moments of frustration in the game, I'm not gonna lie, but the genuine charm and otherworldly feel to it more than makes up for those frustrations. It's not the cheapest. Animal Well is currently £14.69 or your country's equivalent, and is 30% off until March the 5th in the UK and Europe, and the 9th in North America. Retro flair, modern feel. Hyperlight Drifter is fantastic. It's an action RPG focused around its slick combat, systems, and mechanics that really do require your attention. You dash, you strike, you learn patterns the hard way. You won't be getting spoon-fed here, you're going to struggle. But the sense of satisfaction when it all clicks is awesome. The game's atmosphere is a bit grim and moody, and with its minimal dialogue, it really does rely on visual storytelling, but it trusts you enough to piece things together. There are genuine moments of challenge, but it's worth persevering with because the combat's fantastic. It's quite skill-based, but you do get used to it. But that, in combination with those fantastic retro, futuristic pixel art, holds up incredibly. This really is one of those sleeping giants, and there's a surprising amount of content on offer as well. Depending on your temperament and mentality, you're looking at anywhere between 10 to 25 hours. It's currently £4.49, or your regional equivalent, a 75% discount until March the 8th in the UK and Europe, and the 6th in North America. Now, I've talked about this one before, but when given the opportunity, I'll always bring it back up. Black Book is a great little deck-building role-playing game with folklore-rich storytelling rooted in Slavic myth. It's very culturally distinct and refreshingly different from many of the standard fantasy settings, and I really enjoyed it. You play as a young sorceress navigating demons, contracts, and morally complicated choices. It's got slow, thoughtful turn-based combat that really encourages you to plan your deck and synergize as much as possible. But what you don't often find with these deck builders is a narrative that carries this much weight. The writing is brilliant, and there's a surprising amount of depth to the game mechanics and the world it builds. Black Book is a right little gem, and I cannot recommend it enough. It's got a cracking 25-hour campaign, and you won't regret picking it up. It's currently £6.74, or your currency's equivalent, and is 70% off. But act fast, as the sale ends in North America about 12 hours after this video goes live, and you don't have much longer in Europe, so grab it now. Edge of Sanity is up next. This 2D survival horror with a proper oppressive energy. It's set in a freezing wilderness with creeping Lovecraftian vibes. It's about managing resources, morale, and that constant sense that things could unravel at any minute. It's reminiscent of Darkest Dungeon, but a bit more narrative and exploration focused, but it's brilliant nonetheless. It is all about that sustained tension and looming dread. You're weighing up risky decisions, push forward for supplies, or retreat before it gets worse, and the sound design and atmosphere only make these decisions harder. Regardless of how it looks, it is by no means a cozy game. It's a layered survival experience with psychological pressure and slow burning dread. It's got quite a short campaign of about 5 to 6 hours, but you can always replay back through it and make different decisions to see how it turns out. Edge of Sanity is currently £5.85, or your regional price, a 65% discount until March the 8th in the UK and Europe, and the 9th in North America. And moving on, we've got ourselves a retro gem. Dusk is an unapologetic old school FPS. It's got everything you loved about those 90s classics. Fast movement, chunky weapons, aggressive enemies, and awesome level design. But it does well to not feel dated or overly clunky. And what I love most about these games is the lack of fluff and filler. It's usually just straight to the point. There's the bad guys, go and kill the bad guys. And you are left to your own devices in this pure reflex-driven action. It plays brilliantly, and it's just what you would expect. The soundtrack is banging, and it nails that 90s aesthetic horror look. If you're after a fun, old-school shooter, this will undeniably scratch that itch. And it's not a short one either. It's a decent-sized 9-hour campaign, so you'll definitely be getting your money's worth. Dusk is currently £5.06, or the price shown on the graphic, a 66% discount until March the 2nd in the UK and Europe, and the 3rd in North America. So go and grab it quickly whilst it's still available. The penultimate game this week is Under the Island. You may have seen my recent review, but if you haven't, I'll pop it on screen. But this game is a brilliant 2D top-down adventure channeling everything you loved about the old school Zeldas, with its own little twists. It's a fantastic game. Albeit, instead of the Master Sword, you've got yourself a hockey stick. Without question though, my favourite aspect of this game by far are the puzzles. You get a number of tools that are relevant throughout the entire game, and the solutions to each puzzle are always fun and engaging. You get 6 pretty unique and diverse maps, and you'll upgrade your gear as you go through. It really does have a little bit of everything, and if I'm not mistaken, it was the devs' first title as well, so kudos there. It's a pretty structured 10-hour game, but it plays really well. Because it's a pretty new release, it's only a 15% discount, but I had to highlight it again. Under the Island is currently £15.29 or your regional equivalent, and is also only on sale until March the 3rd in the UK and Europe, so grab it quick. If you're in North America, you've got until the 9th, so check out a few reviews and pick it up if it interests you. And finally, my surprise of the week. Doomsday Hunters is a game I remember playing when it first came out, and I had a great time, but I just never got round to going back to it. But I picked it up again when I saw it on sale, and those good times came flooding back. This is a chaotic top-down roguelike with loads of weapons, strange enemies, and that arcade pacing. It's got a bit of everything, but the constant upgrades and build experimentation really shine. It really does have that immediate feedback. Every time you start a new run, it feels like you're playing slightly differently, and the longer you play, the more you discover these odd and quirky synergies with builds. But I go back to the point that it's just satisfying. There is a constant feedback loop that keeps you playing for the next upgrades, and it rarely feels repetitive thanks to this variety. It doesn't have the most depth for a roguelike, but for what's on offer, it's fun, slick, and addictive. It's not the best game you'll ever play, but you'll have a bloody good time with it. And for this price, you can't quibble. Doomsday Hunters is currently £5.04, or your country's equivalent, a 67% reduction until March the 17th in the UK and Europe, and the 15th in North America. And that just about wraps it up. I hope a lot of you come out of this unscathed, because I'm looking at the upcoming releases and trying to figure out where I will have any time to play anything in the backlog. Is it bad that there's a part of me that hopes Pokepedia isn't very good? Because if I enjoy that, it could consume weeks of my life. Anyways, let me know in the comments if you picked anything up, and what you're looking forward to release-wise in the near future. Also, if you played Resident Evil Requiem, did it live up to the hype? Because for me, it was a banging game. I really didn't expect to like it as much as I did, but I'm always happy to admit when I'm wrong. Do all the usual stuff, like, subscribe, hype, cry over the backlog, you know the drill. And with that said, thanks for spending some of your time with me today. Stay cozy, and yeah, I'll see you around.